Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Reilly. Today we're looking at the Ford Mustang Mach-E. Let's get straight into it. Starting at the front, you'll know this is the regular Mach-E, so it comes in a couple of different variations. Standard range, rear-wheel drive, and then all-wheel drive, and then extended range, rear-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive, and then there's the GT version. And I've already done the GT. I was at the European launch in Croatia a couple of weeks ago. I'll stick the link up on the screen and in the description, and you'll know the difference between the GT and the regular version because of the front grille area is blacked off on the GT version. But on all the other versions, standard and extended, rear-wheel and all-wheel drive, it's just the same body colour on it. Starting at the top and all the way down, up the top of the windscreen, you have your Ford badge. There's only two Fords, one on the car and one on the key. Everything else is all Mustang. Some lovely curves on this bonnet. This has a Frunk underneath. I'll show you afterwards. Depending on the version, so the standard range has regular LED lights, and then the all-wheel drive, the extended range has the adaptive LED matrix lights. But lots going on here. Some people don't like this. Some people think it looks like a bit of a mustache on the without the black insert in it. The GT version also has a different splitter at the front as well. But I really like the designs of it. Moving down along the side, then you have a choice of 18 or 19s, and then on the GT you have a 20-inch wheel. You have, depending on the trim, if it's body coloured wheel arch or not. This is where your chargers are. It's 11 kilowatt on AC, and then on DC, if it's a standard range, it's 115 kilowatt. If it's DC, it's up to 150 kilowatt. The differentiator along the side is you'll get the Mach-E, and then if it is extended range, it has the X, and if it's all-wheel drive, it has the 4 for four-wheel drive as well. Has this large black gloss area down along the side. Again, depending on the version, you'll dictate whether you have the gloss black retractable. This is a first edition, so it's kind of a mix and match. But normally the extended range, the larger battery will have the black gloss. Also on the extended range, you'll have a standard technology pack is what they're calling it. It's the panoramic sunroof and bits and pieces out. You can spec that with the smaller battery. Doors wise, you have a little button on the front doors, and there's a little handle. It pops it open, so you can, when you press it, it opens it up. And there's a little bar on the inside that stops it coming out. And on the rear, there's no little handle. You just press it open, and there's kind of like a rubberized bit in underneath. Otherwise, with the SUV roofline, you also have the fact that they've color-coded it and two-toned it, so it looks a lot more sleek than it actually is because they've gloss black the top of it. You've got your shark fin aerial, large spoiler at the back as well. So that's pretty much everything down along the side, and at the front, let's spin it around and have a look at the rear. Before we have a look at the rear, we'll have a look at that front storage area, or Frunk or Froot. There's a lever on the inside passenger footwell. You need to pull it twice. Catches some people out. Underneath the bonnet then you have 81 litres. It is divided out. I'm not sure what the story is there. Maybe people were thinking about putting other people in there. There is a drainage hole if you wanted to have ice and beers, and there's also a glow-in-the-dark button if somebody does get trapped in here to pop it open. Another area on the side of the Mustang Mach-E, on the driver's door you have LED little combination lights, so if you wanted to leave your key inside and not use it, it will you will be able to activate it. So when I'm standing beside it, you can see it there. And so you've got the handle there as well. But yeah, if you wanted to use the combination on the driver's door, you can do that as well. Around at the rear is where you'll really see the Mustang influences with the Mustang lights. You can see that large spoiler with the high-level brake light, window wiper, which I'm a big fan of, as you know. And with the tailgate, it's a power tailgate. You can use the key fob. It'll open it up. Inside then you've got your flexible cover that you can take down and put in underneath. It has two levels. You can use the floor. The floor moves out and you can store your cables in underneath or at the front. You've got some side pockets areas. You've got the ISOFIX fixings on the 60/40 seat in front. You've got your 12 volt, you've got your hooks, and you've got your lights there as well. Some tie-off points. It's actually not the biggest boot. It's about 420 litres where you compare it to some of the other ones which are in the 500s. It's because of that sloping roof line. But overall, it's a decent rear end. A lot of people like it. A lot of people comment on the lights. You've got that large Mustang sign, and then on the GT, it's a GT badge rather than the Mustang, and will signify whether you're using the all-wheel drive as well, and a lot of gloss black with your 360-degree cameras and your parking sensors there as well. Probably one of my favorite sides of the car. What's it like on the inside of the Mustang Mach-E? So on the door handle itself, or the door, very substantial as we'd expect. You have your lock and pre-lock, and you've got 3 set memory. With this technology pack, you have a large B&O speaker system in the door, and then you've got a decent enough door bin. Depending on the spec will dictate what it says on the sill. This has first edition. The door handle releases like a little lever. You have all your electronics, your retractable wing mirrors, your front and rear electric windows, adjustments, and you can lock if you want as well. Good thud. Decent. Steering wheel is good. On the left hand side you've got your driver assist, like adaptive cruise control, lane keep, etc. with your Mustang badge. And then on the right hand side you've got your audio volume track voice assistant. Behind that then you've got a little infrared system to keep an eye on the driver. Left hand side stalks are indicators and lights. Right hand side is your wipers. In front of my right knee it is lights, and then it is also the demister for the windscreen, which is an unusual place for it. I suppose a physical button if the screen doesn't work. Behind that then you've got a 10.25 inch screen. On the left hand side it has your range, then it has all of the whether you're using adaptive cruise control and your sensors with regards to lane keep. And on the right hand side you've got your kilometers per hour. It also says miles per hour, so it kind of inverts it depending on what market you're in. You can see whether you're in park, reverse, neutral, drive, or L, and then it has your mileage, etc. Has your temperature on the screen as well, and your automatic. No heads-up display. The dashboard is very similar to, I'm told, a regular Mustang with those 2 binnacle covers. John, you know you are, he calls it cleavage. And it has that speaker up in the middle as well. On this technology pack, you have the B&O soundbar built into it. You've got some carbon fiber effect. You've got some red stitching. You've got a decent glove box, wireless charging pad with USB-A and USB Type-C, 2 drinks holders, kind of ish floating, because underneath that wireless charging pad, you have another storage area. This is kind of probably one of my least favorite parts of it, this drive selector, because the park is on the left. Sometimes it's difficult to get it into reverse if you're doing 3-point turns, etc. You've got your handbrake and you've got your hazard lights and your auto hold. In underneath here then as well you have a cover, and you also have storage area with a USB 12 volt, sorry, not USB. Seats are nice on this. It is the bolstered seats, not as nice as the GT seats that I recently reviewed, but decent seats as well, and they are heated steering wheel. On the main area that you're looking at, very similar to a Tesla Model S, you have your vertical 15-inch portrait style screen. It's very big. Is it too big? Potentially. You've got your home option at the top, and you've got your typical phone, radio, navigation, has tire pressure, etc. And then it has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. And then at the bottom then you always have your climate control. Along the bottom it's heated seats, etc. Then you've got your dual zone, and then you can press the little car icon on the top right and you get your settings. So that could be drive mode, and we'll talk about that when we're out for driving. We've got 360 camera, we've got parking assistance, driver assistance, valet mode, etc. So we'll talk about that when we're out driving. Start stop button is above my left knee. Comfortable, well built, can't knock the build quality. I like the seating position because it is more of an SUV than some of the ones I've driven recently, like the Ioniq 5 and the EV6, where for my height, which is 6'2", 187 centimeters, I feel is just shape-wise, it's just a small bit too low. And now that I've reviewed 50 or 60 EVs, I'm getting a feeling as to what I like personally. Up on top here, you've got your head unit with your sunglass holders, you've got your lights, you've got your ambient light, your SOS button, you've got your 2 visors with vanity mirrors with lights. The panoramic sunroof does not open. That seat is set for me. I'm 187 centimeters, nearly 178, nearly 1.9 meters. 6'2", and lots of space, and that's what you get when you get that dedicated EV platform. There's about 20 or 30 millimeters. You've got your magazine holder in the back of the seats. In here you've got your vents, you've got your USB Type A and Type C. Really nice seats. Would you fit 3 adults in it? Yes, because it is single floor, and even in the center seat it has a bit of headroom in it. Another Ford badge there actually on the glass. But otherwise, two ISOFIX. You also have your holder, a cup holder and armrest, 3 headrests. The pano sunroof is lovely, and you've got the panoramic sunroof comes back so that you have that extra headspace. So you're not, again, like those smaller electric crossover SUVs, you felt that you were a small bit tight in the back. Little lights here, LED lights. You have your sound system built into the door again, your electric wing mirrors, and the door lever as well. Good big substantial door as well. Great space here in the back. Can't fault it. Be nice if it had tri-zone, but space-wise, really, really good. Let's take it out for a spin. Before we take off for a drive, run through some of the specs and some of the choices that are available. In Ireland, you have rear-wheel drive standard range and rear-wheel drive extended range. Then you also have all-wheel drive standard range and all-wheel drive extended range. And then the GT version. I've done a separate video on the GT version. Prices are starting at $53,100 for the rear-wheel drive standard range, and then depending on whether you want bigger battery, all-wheel drive, or the GT, that goes all the way up to $82,100. So there's 30,000 euros in the difference. The one that I have here today is the first edition, and it is a bit of an amalgamation of a couple of things. So the lucid red color comes in 8 colors, and you saw on my GT version I had the cyber orange, which I really liked, and then there's a grabber blue, which I really like as well. But this red looks well in it today. So this first edition, with all the bits and pieces that it has, is coming in at 76,100. So it's a lot of money, and it's very close to the GT version, so if you're up in that kind of price range, you probably will be going for the GT version. But some of the things we're going to talk about on the driving, we will get through to with regards to what's it like to drive and the features that are available. So prices, battery sizes, we've talked about the charging. The battery options are 68 kilowatt hour usable and 88 kilowatt hour usable. Ford are doing some weird thing on their website where I don't know what they're talking about. I don't think we have any different battery sizes to anybody else, but maybe in the UK market, but anywhere I've looked at it, it is usable 68 and 88. On the Ford website, it has 70 and 91. I don't know. I'm going to stick with 68 and 88. WLTP for the smaller battery, it's coming in, it's saying at 440, but EV Database is saying 345. And this one, which is the larger battery, it's saying WLTP of 610. Cloud cuckoo land. Real world, it's a mid 400s between motorway driving, different temperatures, etc. 0 to 100s can go from 7 seconds all the way down to 4.4. Going for a drive, and I talked about this when I was sitting inside in the cabin, that it's not my favorite mode selector, gear selector, whatever you want to call it. It just feels a small bit, I don't know, it could have been a nice little lever, etc. I don't know. It's just, I think they might have missed a trick there, and it's just sitting on its own on this little leather island. But I do like the fact that you swing it all the way right, no matter what you're doing, it definitely goes into drive. It's that reverse park. I'd prefer if the reverse was all left and the park was in the middle, but they have this L mode in the middle. The take it for a spin anyway. Let's see what we've got. This the GT version has the MagneRide suspension. It is a firmer suspension definitely on this. So with the modes, you have a couple of different drive modes. You've got active, which is your standard. Then you've got whisper, which is a bit more, it's obviously a quieter mode. And then you have untamed. And in the US, if you're watching from the US, if my US viewers, you've got unbridled. With the GT version, then you've got untamed or unbridled extended, which just splits the torque, and I talk about that in the other video, but it's only on the GT version. Then you also have one pedal drive. I'm a huge fan of one pedal driving, so thank you Ford for putting that in, but there is no different stage regen which I do like for motorway. So whether you'd have to go in and turn that off if you wanted to be able to take on more or to utilize your battery or your energy when you're freewheeling. It's an interesting one. I prefer to have the paddle option. Steering wheel is lovely, seating position is lovely, the height is great. Overall, I really like the Ford Mustang. I can't say Ford. It's a Mustang Mach-E, it's not a Ford. And the reason that they're calling it the Mustang Mach-E because it's obviously their premium brand. And if you said to somebody that you're going to buy an electric Ford for the GT version, 80-odd thousand euros, they'll be looking at you like you need to get your head checked. Whereas the Mustang is a nice brand. And I think they've done a good job here. There's that firmer suspension. I love the 10 and a bit inch driver display. I think that's really smart. And as I said, I love the steering wheel. The seats are nice. There are nicer seats in the GT, but these are good. The fit and finish of the materials, excellent. I love looking out on the bonnet, and I said it in the GT video as well, with regards to the shape that they have there. It's very curvaceous. Yeah, it's nice. I like it. Probably a bit on the pricey side. But yeah, Ford, if they bring out an electric Focus or Kuga, fully electric, if they use the same technology that they've used here, yeah, they're onto a winner. I love the propulsion sound. So you can turn that on or off as well. So depending on whether you have, I'll put it into untamed there. Hopefully you can hear it. Yeah, I like that propulsion sound. Otherwise, 360 cameras, there's assisted parking, there is valet mode. The menu option is actually decent. I think that screen is probably a bit too big. It doesn't need to be that big. If they rotated a portrait like Tesla have done on their Model S and made it a 13-inch screen, it's plenty. Because it is a big slab of tech that's sitting in there in the middle. The rotary knob that's in the middle with regards to volume, you have it on the steering wheel anyway, but yeah, it's a nice touch. It's stuck onto the screen, and then the bottom section of the screen, like the bottom 5th or 6th of the screen, is all climate, so dual zone. With the coffee cup holder, the bottle holder, whatever they have in the bottom of it, it's the stickiest substance in the world. So if you want to open a bottle, it's nearly as good as the Skoda, the way they've set up in the Enyaq, but that more so works with water bottles that have the little feet in it, whereas this one, you can open and close a bottle and it just won't let anything move. It's some kind of a rubberized finish. It's good. I like it. Yeah. If you buy it, you won't be disappointed. I suppose the point is, with everything else in the market, does it tick enough boxes for you? For me, as a taller person, I love the seating position more so than the Key EV6. It's got a rear wiper, which is better than the Key EV6, which doesn't have a rear wiper. Has the pano sunroof, but it doesn't open. Has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So there's a lot of things that I like about the Mustang Mach-E. What don't I like about it? Indicators are too loud, too quiet, small thing. Price is probably a bit too expensive, which is a big thing. But yeah, there won't be a lot of them on the road, and so if you want something different, it's definitely here. Let me know in the comments if the Mustang Mach-E is for you. If it's something that you're interested in, have you ordered one? Do you have one already? Because it's been out in the UK for a while. It's just launched in the Irish market. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? Hopefully you've enjoyed today's review. Remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review. Thanks so much for watching.